Back here on Seahawks Saturday night, Michelle Ludtka alongside Seahawks head coach Pete Carroll.
Hey.
Thanks so much for joining us as always. Obviously, disappointing end to the season, but an amazing fight in Green Bay, and your team just battled through so much injuries, adversity, so many things. Have you ever been around a group of players that have fought like they fought on Sunday?
That's a pretty unique group, and not just because of this game. It's been the whole season, and you can see their commitment to one another, and they just will not let each other down in any way, and they keep hanging, and they follow the leadership of Russell and Bobby and those guys that just won't let up, and it's become a real character of this team, and we're proud of it. It's going to take us places in the future.
After the game, you referenced how this group really reminds you of what you saw from your team back in 2012. What specifically stands out, and do you think this group will be able to take that same big leap like that team did back then?
Well, we'll see. I think it's just unfinished business. It's just we weren't done, and we know that we were doing it with other guys. Some of the time, and the guys were stepping in and all that, and we were still able to maintain a really high level of finish and almost took the advantage of the opportunities. In San Francisco in this last thing. So I think it's that knowing, and there's a real nucleus, of guys. That's what we're counting on.
What's it like to go from go, go, go for weeks and months on end, and then all of a sudden, it's done?
It's a real shock. It's a real shock to the system. To be cranked at such a high level for so long, and you never step back from it. There's only those couple hours you steal in the hotel when you played afternoon games or the evening games. In every few weeks. Other than that, it's just go, go, go. And so, a lot of us don't know what to do with ourselves for a bit here. So we'll take a little time and kind of get it sorted out and get back to business.
And for your coaching staff, back to business right away, almost with the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
What do you hope that your coaching staff will be able to take away from that experience?
Well, we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna have fun, and we get to take the kids with us too, which is great, and the grandkids and all of that. But we'll get to compare, the level of the athletes and have them all in the same field at the same time to compare with what we have, and we'll do a little recruiting down there too, and all that. So mostly it's about having a good time and letting these guys go out and play and show the world, what they're all about.
With the 2019 season officially done behind you now, what's going to be your biggest takeaway when you look back on this year?
Well, I think the biggest takeaway would be that a team can connect at this kind of depth, and they can be this dedicated to one another, and so it probably elevates my standards of expectations of what we can accomplish and can acquire during the course of a year if you have the right kind of voices and the right leadership and all of that. So we're going to hold ourselves to this now. This is kind of what we expect, and hopefully it'll take us a step further one week and a step further another week, and we're finishing this thing up the way we want to.
It's got to be hard to just pinpoint one specific thing in a season where there were so many incredible moments and moments to be proud of. But can you pick one that maybe stands out as your proudest moment this year?
Well, I think the San Francisco finish down there, in overtime was really, beating an undefeated team when they were the biggest crowd in history of their place and going crazy and all full of themselves and all that, and to knock them off. And really have the game in hand. We gave it back to them a little bit, and then finishing it off. That was a tremendous win, and it's an accomplishment there. And it's San Francisco, hometown of us, so I kind of like it for that too.
Who doesn't like that, right?
Yeah.
Now, obviously, you're here to win football games, but bigger picture, you have a really unique opportunity in your job and in your role here in Seattle with the Seahawks to touch these men's lives. What does having that opportunity to make that kind of impact mean to you?
Well, it does mean a lot. I'm pretty clearly dedicated to helping people find their best, and it's just been I didn't know I was doing it for years, but then I realized I was, and then I've taken some pride in the fact that we can communicate on a level of helping people with their purpose and helping them with their direction and help them find their connection to the truest self, and when you do that, everything is affected. It's not just football, but it also reminds us of how important it is to have your world in order so that you can be at your best. And so to have a chance to be in that kind of conversation and challenged by that is really exciting to me. And it's become growingly more so. And so I'm pumped up about it, and hopefully we can help some people and do some good things, and these guys can really make the most of this opportunity.
In moments of reflection, say at the end of the season, do you ever find yourself getting sentimental about it?
Sure. Yeah, heck yeah. Yeah, I had a little moment last night, in Green Bay. I wanted to go back down in the stadium, and I wasn't ready to leave it yet, because it was so close to being such an extraordinary opportunity and in such a special place in the setting, and one that has always been, significant to me. So yeah, there was a moment right there, and just looking up and seeing the Lambeau sign up in the snowy, dark night, it was pretty cool. And so there is a lot to this. We put a lot into it, and it takes everything we have to get to these points, and take a lot of pride in how hard we work to use all of the faculties that we have. And so it is emotional, and it is, you can't do this and not be connected, so I'm very grateful for the opportunity that we have here.
Do you think that's one of the reasons why football and professional athletics kind of really is so special, is that you really have to love it to succeed and be a part of it?
Yeah, and it's like we've always heard, the ultimate team game, and the connection that it takes to put so many different elements together to make the performance come alive. And you're risking life and limb, and and it's such a fast athletic challenge. There's just so much going on. I think it has all of the elements that people need to really get captured by it. Obviously, the game has captured our country and other countries as well, and we're lucky to be part of it.
And a player who's captured really the hearts of all the 12s, the whole city, I think the nation really, Marshawn Lynch, you guys getting another chance to be with him this year. Obviously the time was short, the future's unclear, but what kind of lasting impact do you think he will have on the young players and their development for the future?
Well, no, he did. He had an impact. I think, he had an impact before they ever met him. Just they're growing up and watching him play, and the craziness of all of the stuff he stood for, and that he's accomplished and all. And then to see him be so gracious in his return, and so open to helping and reaching out and mentoring and all of that. Even to last night in the post game, he asked if he could say a word to the team, to demonstrate his gratitude to be part of the Seahawks again. And he was teaching that they don't realize how good this is, and how special it is, and how they should cherish it. And so he gave everything of himself. It was great to see him come back, and it was good to see him get in the zone 4 times too in the last few games. So
exactly,
it was pretty fun.
Loved seeing that. Yeah. Now, as the players leave, obviously some staying here in Seattle, others going back home to continue their kind of off-season training to get ready for next year. What can you share with us about your message to your team?
Well, this is about starting to orchestrate the greatest off-season of their life. That's really what this is. It's the only one we have any connection with, and so we got to go for it. And so we talked all about that, and there's planning and order and standards and challenges and goals and things that all have to be structured here once again. But to do it as much as they can with one another, and to stay connected, and to keep the relationship strong, and all of that will help them as they go through the process of it and come back to do something really special.
And now you getting finally a few moments to yourself with the off season. You're a big reader.
Not yet.
Do you have a book though on the horizon? If you're like, as soon as I get a moment, this is what I'm going to be tackling.
I'm going back to I think David Brooks' character book. I'm going to go back to that one. I need to revisit some stuff. I got to get straight up on some of my old stuff first.
Well, hopefully it's an enjoyable off season for you, a good reread, in the process. We might have to check it out ourselves. But as always, Coach, we appreciate your time on Seahawks Saturday night. And really, more importantly, thank you for a really fun season.
Thanks. To all the 12s, thanks for hanging with us. Let's go do something special in the future here. See ya.
Thanks, Coach.